What's up? Detroit! Oh, really? Nobody online, huh? Okay. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Sabotage at its finest. Now, Seattle in the house. What's up, Seattle? It's like 1 o'clock in the Seattle area. What's up, Harry Dawkins II? I did get your donation, man. I appreciate it. And you said you were stepping things up. I heard you when you said it. Newark, man, dude, you up early. Mad early, son. What's up from the Carolinas? Okay. You trying to weather the storm or the tornadoes or the hurricane, rather? You know, wish y'all the best out there. Now, let's talk about it, shall we? Little Wizzle, which is Lil Wayne, was able to get out of his deal with Young Money, meaning that he now owns Young Money priority, sole priority. He's the sole proprietor. And what's funny is that I already talked about this. We've already discussed this. That's why I'm like, wait a minute. When it was announced he was leaving, this was the deal. Lil Wayne does an interview and he says he now owns Young Money outright or whatever in the interview, and everybody loses their mind. Like they didn't hear the fact that he was able to leave and take Young Money. I guess the words got confused, but that's what I thought was part of the deal. So now I guess Baby, the only thing that I think that I gained out of this is that Baby is no longer a part of Young Money, period, which I thought was in place the first time. I just thought that he's going to keep Young Money with Cash Money Records and all that. But he's got full control of it now, where it's exclusively him. But it's going to stay over there with Universal. And it's going to be its own entity away from Cash Money. So now Young Money is going to have its own property. Now here's the other thing that's the kicker. Now that Baby and Slim is going to be eliminated from Young Money completely, and it's all Wayne's, Universal's going to keep Young Money. Lil Wayne as an artist is going to be free to go wherever he wants. That means he could sign with Jay-Z and Tidal and do all those things, or he could just stay independent. But I think he'll sign with Jay and take the money that's, on the table. So that's why I think the direction is. Because that makes more sense. Where everywhere else, it just don't make sense. The Carter 5 is supposed to come out in a couple of months. Like, what is it, October? So I think probably at the end of October, around Halloween, that time, the Carter 5 is coming out this year, period. It's coming out really soon. Lil Wayne got an album out right now, a song out right now with Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys. Pistol on My Side. But that's what I'm like, wait a minute though. We heard all this. That's why when I heard this, I'm like, wait a minute, didn't we hear this on news already? Now, I'm happy for Wayne, and let me repeat that. I am happy for Lil Wayne. Now, a major problem that I do have is that even though I'm happy for Lil Wayne, I don't see any change in the structure of how this situation is going to play out. You feel me? I guess you don't feel me. He's going to sign with Roc Nation. And he's going to take a multi-million-dollar deal with Roc Nation. Well, Drake and Nicki are in the same position Drake and Nicki has always been in. They're in a position where they're the ones that's got to provide the hits. Drake is in a great position. If you look at the top hip-hop earners, I would say Drake is in a very good position, wouldn't you? Of course the live messing up. You know what they doing. It's sabotage time. So like I said, Lil Wayne was spitting on the last mixtape he put out. On that last mixtape, Lil Wayne was spitting his heart out. Mm. Well, the thing was, it didn't have any promotion. It was something for Wayne to put out there so people can know he's still Lil Wayne. And even though he looked the way he do, Lil Wayne don't rhyme like the rest of these dudes. The move tried to happen. Like Jay-Z tried to bring Lil Wayne over a long time ago. Then he tried to sign Lil Wayne to a $50 million contract. You know, Baby was blocking it. You know, people got their reasons why they do stuff. You know, if you look at how you're making your money, you know, you go like, man, they making their money this way? We doing something wrong. Next thing you know, you turn around and everybody's got this they got this opinion about them all of a sudden. Everybody's got their opinions. They got their thoughts as far as how they gonna make their money. I mean, Birdman ain't making no records. And him and Slim was still up there making millions of dollars every year. They were making it off the back of Lil Wayne and whoever Wayne brought through the door. That's why they were able to sustain when all the other record companies in rap, they last about 4 or 5 years, then they fade out. You know, you look at No Limit Records. No Limit Records had a big rise from 1997 to like 99, about 3-4 years. Then here come Cash Money. And that kind of faded off, and then it went on into something else. So No Limit, Master P, the reason why he was taken apart because he owned so much of his own business. The Tank. Master P was in charge of his distribution. So he made more money than anybody could ever amass. And even off his own music, you know, he still makes millions of dollars. And people are like, man, how does Master P still got all this money? Like, what happened with Master P? He bought into real estate. He was a very smart guy. So the fact that he knew, I'm not going to get involved in this and go 100% unless I know I'm not going to take the short money. I'm going to try to find out how I can pay, you know, get the real money. I mean, say what you want. Look at the chart that everybody put out of who's selling records. You see Drake sold about the most records out of anybody, sold about 3 million. Post Malone sold about 3 million records. He put out 2 albums to do it. And you look at other albums that's out there, because it's a double CD. Drake basically sold about 6 million records. If they still counting the disc as 2. You look at all the other people, Cardi B, all those other rappers. Then you look at the Forbes top list of the most sales of the albums. You don't see the Jay-Z Beyonce album on there, but you see Jay-Z is making how much money? Beyonce is making how much money? Puffy and Jay-Z are like 1 and 2. So you got to start asking yourself, what side of the coin am I on? Exactly, tours. You're making that off tours. You're making that off shows. You're making that off of, appearances. I mean, Cardi missed out on millions of dollars not, making that tour with Post Malone. Now, I don't know what type of deal she has. I don't know if she has a 360 deal or whatever, which means that Atlantic Records would get a piece of that tour. But I can go on record. I can go on record and say that she probably do. And Atlantic Records are probably like, Cardi, you should have been ready for this tour. And the industry is a lot different than, you can't tell somebody when to come back from, pregnancy and being in shape and motherhood. You just can't. That's just something you are not allowed to say. But you want to kind of say it. You need to drop that baby and get back out to work. You got to drop that baby and get to work. Drop that baby, get to work. They got her on this thing that's like a super fast lane, the T, to help her lose weight fast. Look at what they did to Teriyaki Snitch 9. They went and stuck the vacuum cleaner up his butt and started sucking out all them pounds around his waist. Tell him you can't eat meat no more. No more burritos, fat boy. You're going to be on a vegan diet. Then once you thinning up and we can put some muscle on you or something, then we can have you with your shirt off running around. But not with all that. Yeah, the tea didn't work for academics. He just put some gravy in the tea. This tea would work with some gravy. I could put some gravy, some barbecue sauce, some lemon pepper. Then I'm gonna drink the tea. What's up, Rufus Basin? Oh yeah, you guys can make a donation to the page. Click the link in the description box. At any time, leave me a message. I got Harry's messages. Lil Wizzle, he's owning Young Money. But here's the thing, though. Here's something I don't know. Is Drake off of Young Money? That might be the case. Because I think he's going to be signed directly to OVO and might negotiate his own deal, which will be very lucrative. Very lucrative. Harry, did you sign up to any more people to your Q dollars? I don't know, fam. I really don't know the next time I'm coming there. Eric, y'all are slipping. Y'all, Eric, I swear y'all should have read the information. I don't know. Did they give you more time? You say you got no more credit. You can get no more. They saying that was it. Your time ran out. You gotta wait till it's a spot to be invited in. You see, that's what the thing is. You can only get invited in. That's it. You can get more credit. All you gotta do is sign people up. I appreciate it too, Harry. That's why down the road when this cute thing pop up, and if it turned into something, you gonna have revenue coming in. That's why I'm trying to help people get as many cute dollars as possible. Because if this thing turn over and you guys are already in, oh my gosh. It's cryptocurrency. It's called Q dollars. And it's free to sign up, but you got to get invited in. My list is full. Can nobody get in no more with me? All the people who donated, they got a chance to invest and get in with me. That was my way of saying thank you for supporting my page. I brought them in, so when it gets turned into a currency, y'all get back way more money than you've ever donated to me. You could sign up with Harry. I think Harry and Eric, they got spots available on theirs. Harry, Eric, y'all in there? Eric Johnson and Harry Dawkins II. When this video's over, go to the comment section. They're going to post their links. You can sign up, I think, with either one. I think they got some time left to get some people in before the time is up. And then, I don't know. Yeah, you see the layout for the plans. They got a real financial plan. If you read it. Oh, no problem, Kahari. And none of you have to buy anything. That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. You're getting in the beginning. All they trying to do is establish actual users, actual people that are signed up to say, hey, we can go forward with this and actually get the revenue, get it approved. So you're looking at by the time this thing is 2000, let's say 2020, 2021, it starts to build up. You have all these users. We are already in. Do you understand? We are in already. So by the time everybody's getting approved and this thing starts to build up, it'll be like Bitcoin. People come in and try to buy it or whatever. We already get points. We get $1. Ours would be equivalent, and this is the minimal, would be $1 per Q. So right now, you guys probably got like what, 10,000, 12,000 just getting involved. With a Mayweather curse strike, Tank. I wouldn't even call it the Mayweather curse. I call it, Tank. I call it history. When you seen fighters like Tank with the lack of discipline, do they survive in this game? How many times you seen players with the lack of discipline make it in this game? They don't really make it that far, do they? They have a hot streak, and next thing you know, boom, they didn't fail from grace. Adrian Broner got banned from Uber. Fools will be fools. Fools will be fools. What's good, bro? Nah, I wasn't clubbing tonight. Partying with the Hooter girls. They done messed me up. The Russ video I did is already out. It's on the timeline. Oh, I know, with the snake skin front. It's not a snap. It's not a fitted, though. It's got the leather in the back. Boom, boom. Old school logo. Detroit basketball. So, going back to this perspective of Lil Wayne, what this does is it opens up Young Money for people to sign to Young Money now. Like, he'll have the creative space, the revenue to be able to maneuver and do certain things that he wanted to do, and and go from there. So it is what it is. You gotta check the Truth Behind playlist on YouTube. I got a playlist, the Truth Behind Hip Hop Beefs. I've done a couple of them on the Bay. Some people are like, you got it wrong. I'm like, I got it as right as I know it. I might have had some of it mixed up, but I can only tell it as much as I know it. This one dude, I'll tell you what happened. Can you trust a drug head with your career? Here's the thing. Y'all think because Lil Wayne owns the record label, Lil Wayne is going to be running the company. Do you think the person that owns Universal Music is the person that's going to be running the company? No, it's only going to be a name. He's just the owner of the record label. I'm quite sure there are other people like A&Rs and people there that's going to manage and handle the day-to-day operations. Those are the people that are going to like run Young Money. You don't think Lil Wayne's gonna be out there doing the everyday things for Young Money? No. The book by Elijah Muhammad a long time ago. Uh, so you got to understand, we lived like 10 minutes from the mosque. My first job was right next to the mosque, right on Stony Island. So when they opened up the bakery, and everything there, we always seen Muslims. We're from the South Side, so definitely. That book, Open Your Eyes. Well, it should have, but the thing of that nature is a lot of it was due to the times that people were living in when it was written. So it was written at a time where things were a lot more harsher than what they are today, as far as liberties for a black man. So you definitely got the perspective of how his family was treated and how his people and what they've actually seen. Oh, it had a big influence on hip hop in the late '80s and early '90s. The Nation of Islam movement was huge during that point in time, and it started to influence hip hop, especially with Public Enemy. When everybody was talking about red, black, and green and Africa and everything, and you got people who was putting message all in their music. You had KRS One, Public Enemy, all those guys doing it. So, well, Khalid Abdul Muhammad was responsible for a lot of the West Coast rappers turning to the Nation of Islam. He was very key in the recruitment process. So when he was there, most of the rappers came over due to him. Now, Professor Griff, who was the Minister of Information, he was basically with the Nation of Islam too. But there was a lot of things, like a lot of blacks, if you didn't have a lot of knowledge of the world history, a lot of people would gravitate to the Nation of Islam because they talk about a lot of things that are positive to black men. That black men needed to listen to, and about structure, focus, being a good citizen, eating right, taking care of yourselves, being men, and women, teaching them how to be respectful and honor the man and honor your husband, and the importance of family. These values were very important for black men who were lost at the time. Now, the problem ensued once you started to get into the teachings and what it seemed to be pushing you towards. The teachings of Elijah Muhammad, and they say the great and honorable Elijah Muhammad, who is the prophet, and then you have a picture of the founder, who they never really show, who was mixed or basically Caucasian, who's the guy who founded the Nation of Islam. But they praise the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, basically taking the praise away from Allah and giving most of the praise to Elijah Muhammad, which I find to be a disturbance or a confusion between the messages. So when I was taught, and the Sunni Muslims came here and they had a meeting with the Nation of Islam, I actually was there. I actually have that on cassette. The actual meeting that went down with the Nation of Islam's and the Sunni Muslims, and they decided to work together after colliding with each other, because they never viewed the Nation of Islam as really true Muslims because they wore bow ties and suits. And it was like, wait a minute. You don't wear the attire of Muslims. How in the world could you be calling yourselves Muslim? I mean, it was so many different things that they've done, and they just say, wait a minute, this is not, there's no way you guys are Muslims. So it was going on back and forth. They were like, they was like, oh, we do that on certain days. And they was like, whoa, she's supposed to cover her head. It's a whole lot of rules and traditions that were broken that Muslims felt the Nation of Islam was just creating their own thing. So they didn't consider them Muslims. So it's a very big situation going on between the two, and they actually got together and said, wait a minute, we need to start focusing on the things that we have that are similar more than the things that we don't agree on. And that became a bonding point between the two so that they can move forward. Now, things got hot because Khalid Abdul Muhammad decided to research a lot more and more about what was going on as he was getting more popular than the Elijah Muhammad. Than Louis Farrakhan. At that time, all the rappers, they were talking about Khalid Abdul Muhammad. And he was this and that. And he was the one going out doing all the speeches because he was so great with recruiting. Many felt it was jealousy in the ranks, and this was another Malcolm X type situation happening again. As he felt he was being silenced, but he was a little out of control. He went and did a speech where he sat down with the Catholics, the reverends. He had their Bibles. He was throwing it on the floor. Which version you want to read? Boom. And like most of this stuff is on YouTube now, but it was on tapes. He was throwing the books down. Boom. Throwing another one down. Boom. Which one of these are all lies? So all of his things used to be televised on, here in Chicago it was. When he does his speeches, they were broadcast on public access television. So we could watch the broadcast. Now, he ended up getting on the radar, or most of the Jewish networks. And once he hit their radar, they was like, whoa, this guy's out of control. Where Farrakhan was more, he knew the balance and the line of what they could say and what they couldn't say. And what he did say, when they used to make tapes that was not out for the media, was a lot different than what he did when he did his interviews. It was a lot more harsher, it was a lot more real than was the way Khalid Abdul Muhammad was taught. So he took that everywhere he went, and he was very vocal with it. And then he did a speech, and where he said, Hitler, well, that was a guy I just thought, Hitler, maybe he was misunderstood. That blew everything away. Like, I thought, Hitler was all right. And then, maybe he was just misunderstood. Then I look at these pictures, and I was like, nah. So they only took one part of what he was saying, and they was, this guy's insane. He's speaking hateful speeches. So Farrakhan was warned to put a leash on Khalid Abdul Muhammad. So Farrakhan's like, he did a speech. I'm going to talk to my brother Khalid Abdul Muhammad, and I'm going to tell him, a thing or two. So he went and had a conversation. Everybody like, okay, his next speech is going to be nice and calm. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, this is going to be nice and over with. He does a speech, and I swear to God, he went all the way back up. Not only did he talk about what happened before, and they had the press in there this time. They had CNN show up. They had Fox. They had all these people there now that was never there the first time. Oh, they was here this time. They wanted to hear what he had to say. So he came in lit up on fire. Yeah, they all here to see what I'm going to say next. He doubled down. I thought Hitler was just, maybe I had this all wrong about Hitler. Maybe he's just this freak of nature who seems to have this thing laid out right. Oh my God, he doubled down. He doubled down. I'm muted. What do you mean I'm muted? What you mean you can't hear? Oh, okay. So, anyway, he doubled down. And once he doubled down and went off on this long speech, he started breaking down how the media, and he blamed the Jewish people, and that was his main target. He blamed them for how they took his words and switched it up. When he said, you guys said that 95% of the slaves, you guys said that I said 95% of the Jews own slaves. Well, what did he say? 75%. One of them, he said 75% of the Jews own slaves. That's not what I said. I said 75% of the slaves were owned by Jews. But you put a twist on my word to try to make it sound ridiculous. So he was letting people know right from the jump that that's what he meant, but they purposely did it to make it sound ridiculous. Like he said, 75% of the Jews own slaves. That's crazy. Jewish people, I've never owned a slave. I would never do that. He's like, no, I didn't say that. I said 75% of the slaves were owned by Jews. But you guys put a twist on my words because you're the devil. And man, he went in. So after this speech was over, and he's like, you guys are going to hear about all this on the 7 o'clock news, or the 9 o'clock news, news. On the 5 o'clock news, news. He went all the way in. So when he went all the way in, they contacted Louis Farrakhan a whole different way. He was on the cover. Louis Farrakhan was, not Khalid Abdul Muhammad. He was on the cover of Time magazine. Time magazine put Louis Farrakhan picture on the cover. And they was like the enemy or something like that. The man of hate speech. They were coming after Louis Farrakhan. Not Khalid Abdul Muhammad. And that caused a rift. And Farrakhan was upset because he told him, look, I told you we got to do this a different way. And he was, man, you changing these, dude. We can't fit these crackers. You know, Khalid Abdul Muhammad was wild with it. So they had a falling out. He suspended Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Khalid Abdul Muhammad didn't take to this suspension. He defected, left the nation. Which is basically treason to them. And you could be assassinated for it. So he went out and started doing speeches against Louis Farrakhan, which shocked and confused everybody who went and actually joined the nation based on him. And then he started to do his research and said, if anybody asks me what I am, I'm a Moor. And he started to preach Moorism. He was shot in the leg in an alleged shootout with some members of the nation. Rumored that's who the people were that's shooting at him. He was shot in the leg. And later he developed cancer some type of way, and he ended up dying from cancer. Well, you got to understand, he did a Million Man March just like Farrakhan did. Farrakhan did a Million Man March. It was organized. It was structured. And even Bill Clinton was afraid for no reason and used the word malice to describe him. It's like, what malice? There's a million black people here, nobody being violent. So what malice? So, of course, the news wanted to say it wasn't a million people. It was more like 50,000. There wasn't a million people. They want to try to diffuse the numbers and take away these things. But it was a very positive thing for blacks. But the White House couldn't approve it because they don't want the empowerment of blacks. So with this being done, we look at the total picture of what was happening. And Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, he did his march on the White House. His Million Man March. It was a little bit different. And it's probably on YouTube somewhere. That thing broke out into violence. His Million Man March broke out into violence. And the police, they was fighting the police, and he was on the microphone telling them, "That's it! Take the devil's baton and stick it up their butt! Get them!" I mean, he was basically inciting a riot. It was... Y'all finna have me look that video up. Y'all gonna have me look that... Man, if Khalid Abdul Muhammad was here today, woo-wee, what's been going on? You wouldn't want to see him. Not in today's climate. That man was that shit. This is in DC, boy. Them brothers were fighting. They were fighting the cops in riot gear. Take the baton from the devil and stick it up their butt. Well, he said something else, but yeah, he was wild. He was wild. But most people started to pull away from the nation after that. Like most of the rappers, and you start seeing Ice Cube go. You start seeing Chuck D go. I mean, that was the thing. What was so amazing about it is white people love Public Enemy just as much as black people love Public Enemy. To this day, you will see more white people play Public Enemy than black. Public Enemy was so loved, that Millions of a Nations album, that people remixed so many of their own songs. Bring the Noise, Anthrax redid it and made a rock version of Bring the Noise. They know all the lyrics to the song. Yo, Farrakhan's a prophet and I think you ought to listen to. White people are telling you Farrakhan is a prophet that I think you need to listen to. Do you understand? The production was incredible. Ooh, I got a video coming out like right now too. And that video gonna cause a lot of controversy. I might get a phone call about that one. I don't want to get Haitian Jack upset at all. Haitian Jack called me, I'm be like, uh-oh. I'm like, I don't think I mentioned you, sir. I swear it's probably out right now, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the last minute that we're gonna do. Then everybody who wanted to sign up with you, Harry, I'm gonna let them go ahead and do their thing. You and Eric. It was crazy back then, man, for real. Well, you say I got him. What, you went and got him already? You figured out a way to get him? Yeah, it's on this channel. It's a Foxy Brown video. I think the title is called "Foxy Brown is a Dangerous Woman," or something like that. It is. Is Cube a 5%er? No, he really wasn't. He was joining the nation. He was down with the Nation of Islam, down with Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. So he was running around with the nation at the time with Public Enemy and all of them dudes, and things just started to turn. He was like, "Whoa, I'm gonna go this way now." Then a lot of people start to go in their own paths. So I'm gonna get out. Deuces.